What up? We're back with HELLABASS. That's right. There he
Yep.
is, boys and girls.
Yeah, hanging out, bonus streaming Thursday night with Mr. Bass. What's going on?
Right on.
How cold? You're in Kansas City, right? Is that where you're?
Yeah. Brutal this morning, man. It was like 0 this morning.
I think it was -10 when we came in from hockey practice a few minutes ago.
Jeez, that's
And we're
terrible.
dropping.
That is terrible. You get it cold enough, though, where you could ice fish if you wanted to, though, right?
Correct.
Are you much of an ice fisherman?
Not really.
I think if I, as a YouTuber, if I lived up there, I'd feel a lot of pressure to start doing it. Seems like there's
Honestly,
a lot.
the guys that do it kill it. Like Sobe and some of those guys. Yeah, they make a killing in the winter. So if I was really about growing a channel and all of that jazz and just about views, I would go ice fishing.
Yeah. Well, some of us have a life outside of YouTube where you actually have to get the living part of life done as well. So that makes it challenging. Just like the whole social media thing. How many platforms do you kind of actively try to keep up on your social media?
I mean, YouTube's definitely the prime, focus, but I have been dabbling on TikTok quite a bit. Like I've had, I don't know, a handful of videos get 50, 60, 70,000 views lately. So
yeah.
Dabbling with that. And that's just mainly repurposing, like taking like that one moment out of an old video where like I get mad and throw my rod down, or I punt a pike out of the boat, or like, snap a rod, or the other day I had one where I like was throwing a spinnerbait and there was a bunch of zebra mussels on the grass. So like I didn't check my line. So I just went to cast it and the spinnerbait just went. So like just cutting them down in that vertical format and throwing them up there. So I'm not like really doing anything special. Like I'm not dancing. So if anybody wanted to see me dance, I'm not dancing on TikTok. But Instagram, and I've really focused on kind of doing the same thing on Instagram, especially now that we're not like in the fishing season where I'm like snapping pictures and baits because I'm not fishing.
Yeah.
I'm just doing kind of some of that same stuff, putting reels up of kind of cool moments. And I don't know, it seems to respond to that.
Yeah. I've been doing the same. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are pretty much all I really focus on. I've got one TikTok that's got like 166,000 views or something, and
Nice.
the reason it is because I'm positive this is why it is. People think it's a golf. It has to do with golf because it says on the front the words that I put on it are a hole in one, and it's a friend of mine who's pitching his. He's pitching his jerk bait. He's up at the front of my boat, and I'm in the back filming. And he's not his jerk bait. He pitches a square bill crankbait into the water, and it goes right into a hole in the side of a tree that's standing in the water. It's pretty cool. So I put a hole in one, and I guarantee you, people that even aren't fishermen say, "Hole in one, what's that?" And they click on it. Then they're like, "Oh, this is fishing. Who gives a rip about that?"
Yeah, Chris, you don't have to make TikToks. Just go on there and watch them.
That's true. You can just watch.
I'm actually pretty impressed. When you first go on TikTok, you're like, "This is dumb." You're seeing all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But once you start liking a few things and kind of watching, it dials in on what you watch pretty quickly. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, it does. It does.
The first time you go on there, it's going to seem like a bunch of random trash and, thirst trapping and that kind of stuff. But if you just start pressing the heart on the fishing videos and, like, if you're into I watch like some barbecue smoking stuff and some of that stuff, and it'll dial it in pretty quick.
There are a lot of fishermen that are doing only TikTok. They're not doing YouTube at all, just TikTok. And I don't know. There's something to that. The fact that you don't have to edit anything. Well, you do if you want to. I mean, if you want to get it down to 60 seconds, you do something. So that's probably not a completely true statement, but I don't know. I don't know where that's going to go. It looks like it's pretty hot, though.
Eliza says she can't keep up with her OnlyFans. She doesn't have time for the rest of them.
Yeah. Well, hey, you got your priorities. That's what matters. And so, what can you do? So, what are you doing this time of year since you're not fishing then?
Well, I mean, like you, live streaming, not nearly as much as you do, but going live, trying to kick out a video or two a week. Going through some tackle right now, getting ready for some stuff to donate to like some high school, and I've had some other groups reach out to me.
Cool.
Probably going to sell some reels on eBay, or I know Gramps was that like this old Castaic that's been sitting around super free. He was interested in, so I'm going to probably get rid of a few reels and upgrade a couple of those. I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like cleaning, sorting, maintenance, getting things ready. I don't know. Maybe I'll have some alone time with the wife, and we'll talk about the boat situation, and maybe I'll be working on a new boat when I get back. We'll see.
Yeah. So you're a boat angler for sure. You ever done any kayaking or anything smaller?
Never done kayak, but I do bank fishing a little bit. I probably should record more.
Yeah.
I always like when it's not frozen, I typically keep like a rod or reel in the back of the Tahoe and like just a little pack of like jigs and a couple frogs and some trailers, so that if I just got 20 minutes to kill between shuffling kids to a practice or maybe swing by the grocery store and like drag my feet and hit a pond, like I do some of that stuff, but I don't typically film it.
Yeah. I'm kind of all over the board. I mean, I've always been a bank angler. I like small fishing. So I've always done a lot of that, but I got my first bass boat. I don't know how many years ago now, 15 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually, funny story on my bass boat. I bought it used, but it was a Ranger bass boat that George Cochran won fishing a tournament, and he won it and sold it on the ramp right when he won it. And what he did was he autographed inside the the rod lockers. He opened up the lids and autographed inside the lid, George Cochran, and then he sold the boat to some dude, and this dude took it, and then I bought it used from this guy, and he says, I swear this was George Cochran's boat. He won it in a tournament. So I have a friend that's a buddy with George Cochran and contacted him to verify the story, and sure enough, he verified it, said, yeah, that was my boat. I won it, and I autographed it. So that was kind of fun. It was a nice boat for me. And then I, have kind of moved my way up, and I got a Bass Cat now that I really like. But this whole kayak thing's turned me kind of upside down in the whole fishing. I got into the same thing, watching YouTube videos, and I saw Drew Gregory, I don't know, 10 years ago now, probably, on a Jackson kayak, and he was showing how stable it was, and you get back in these tiny, skinny waters, and I can't get my fiberglass boat back, and that kind of stuff. I was like, dude, I need to try this kayak thing. So I did, and it's really kind of hooked me. I find myself kayak fishing more than I'm in the boat now, which I never thought would happen.
I could see it. Like, if I had more time, I definitely would like to do it. I know I just saw yesterday they announced that the Minnesota Bass Nation is starting a kayak series that can put you into the kayak championship for Bassmaster.
We've got a good one down here, too. It's called Moyak. And, they've been really well organized for years now. But
yeah, I agree, Thomas. SLX XT is probably one of my favorite reels for the money.
Yeah, a lot of people love those, talk a lot about those.
Like that extra $30 over their extra SLX, I think it's a really good reel.
Mm-hmm. For sure. It's kind of funny, too, because so many people quality's in the eyes of the beholder, right, really, when it comes to reels and rods and that kind of thing. But for me, once I really started trying some really good stuff, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to go back, You can definitely catch fish on a cheap reel, but the experience is different when you got a really high quality piece of gear, don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's a minimum threshold, right? I feel like that.
What is the minimum threshold?
It's right in that. For me, it's in that 100 to 150.
Yeah,
like for rods and reels. I got some Daiwa Fuegos. I've got, Dobbins Furies, but then I've also got Champion Extremes, and I've got Chronarch CI4s, and, so it kind of runs the gamut. I've got, my low-end combos are probably like 225, and my high-end combos are like 600.
Yeah. I had a buddy on a tournament that we were at where he was he found an NRX rod with a metanium reel on it in the water. It was in shallow water and it was just kind of bobbing. And it was brand new. Basically $900 combo he finds in the lake. I mean, I was like, dude, how can you get so freaking lucky? That's unreal. What's the best thing you've ever found in the water?
Best thing I've ever found in the water. I found a shed once, like a deer antler shed, which was kind of cool. Okay. I came across a dead deer waiting in the water. Actually, when I was down in Watchtower River, I saw 2 dead deer in November in the Watchtower River. But it's like good stuff that I found. I don't know that I've ever found like a rod or reel. I mean, I found a few random baits, some plugs, but nothing like amazing. So that's I've ever like found like a original Vixen or anything cool like that.
I think that's a great question for the viewers here. Put in the comments, what's the coolest thing or the best thing you found in the water? The best thing I found is I found $100 bill. And I was like, what? I was bank fishing, actually. And I'm walking along, and I look in the water, and I was like, that looks like money. And I stepped down in there, and sure enough, a $100 bill.
Well, I got a good story about something somebody else found.
What's that?
So about 3 years ago, it was right around Thanksgiving, which is right on my birthday, and I just upgraded my phone. So I had upgraded to the Samsung at the time 8 Plus, which at the time 3 years ago was brand new. And I went wading in the Mississippi River for smallmouth. And when I went backtracking to the car, I couldn't find my phone. And I looked in it, and I walked back out, and I checked all the places, and I had to finally like bail because I had to be somewhere. And 3 days later, some kids from Bemidji State messaged me on like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, right? Get all these notifications because I had like reactivated my old phone. And there was they found it in like waist deep water. They saw the blinking blue light out of the corner of their eye.
Holy
They picked it up. It was still working. It had 3% battery left when they found it. Jeez. And I used it for 3 years, and I just got this phone maybe like a month ago.
That is crazy. That you were living right there for sure, man. There's somebody who found some Ray-Bans, an S-Waver swim bait. That's cool.
There you go. Yeah, we've fishing. We've caught a few rods and reels, but they've been like ugly sticks and just kind of, or they were just they'd been in there so long, they were just so gunked up that.
That's me. Anytime I find a rod, it's total trash. Johnson boat motor. That's pretty cool. That reminds me of a story I've told on my channel before. Dead deer, big fish, is my buddy Joe, who is a fanatical fisherman. On his honeymoon, his wife says, look, we can go. He wanted to go to this lake. And she's like, we can go to this lake. Yeah, I'm fine staying in the resort or this lake or whatever, but you are not fishing on our honeymoon. You can forget that. It is not going to happen, right? So she wouldn't let him bring any tackle, no rods, no reels, no nothing. Well, what she didn't know is that he's fished this lake, for years. And there was a shallow spot the year before where his boat dumped out, and he lost several rods, like 5 rods and an entire tackle box. Well, he couldn't recover it because the water was too deep, and he left. But when they came back on his honeymoon, the lake was like 4 feet shallower than it had been the year before. So he goes, they walk on the beach, and he goes and he actually finds these 4 or 5 lost rods in the lake, plus his tackle box. He takes them back to the hotel room on the honeymoon, and he spends all night cleaning up his rods and reels, and the next day he goes fishing.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty freaking crazy. This dude he's an animal when it comes to fishing, man.
I did catch a jackhammer on Gunnersville. I do remember that. It was a jackhammer with a Zako on it, green pumpkin.
That's cool. One of the lucky things I had is Lucky Craft makes some really good baits that crankbaits that they discontinued, and those things are going for like $50 on eBay. And I had several, and we're fishing one, and it broke off. and I lost it. I couldn't find it. And then a few days later, this is a big lake too. A few days later, I'm fishing the opposite side of the lake, but almost parallel to where I lost it, and ran into that crankbait and found it floating there all the way on the other side of the lake. So that was nice to recover a lost $50 crankbait.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know if I've got that jackhammer. I had it in my box for a long time. I might have finally pulled the Zako off it and retrailered it and lost it again.
Crappie cab, that's the grounds for divorce. No, Carol, that wasn't Steve. That was my buddy Joe Enda. He's on here every once in a while. That dude he's nuts when it comes to the whole fishing thing.
Oh yeah, Taco Warehouse. I like it.
Delicious. Yeah, it does sound good. Taco Warehouse. You got something going there. So
shout out to Baitman. I heard he had like a sob story post on his community wall, like he wasn't feeling well and the truck was broke and like all kinds of things. So I just I'll put out some good vibes on the YouTubes for Baitman and rep his hoodie tonight.
I love Baitman. I've learned so much by watching his channel over the years. He's a good stick.
He's kind of what got me inspired to do live streams. Honestly, it was because he was doing them. He's like the OG, just hanging out, talking about fishing and baits and stuff.
In his dark room back at that dark, he wasn't worried about cinematography or anything, and his content was great. Still is. It's still great. And now he's old Mark Menendez out there making videos with him.
Yeah, I do have we don't have to open it now, but I actually got an order in today. And what would be more fitting to open a box on a Mr. Bass stream? Right? So hang in. We'll get to this a little later.
All right.
Little sound preview.
That's cool. So Omnia Fishing, they kind of got a weird website. When you go on first time, they ask you to pick. What do they ask you to pick? A part of the country or a type of fish you fish, and they. Have you noticed that?
It's been so long. I don't know if it was that way when I signed up or not.
Yeah, when you go there now, they ask you what part of the country do you live in, and how do you like to fish? And then I always kind of try to skip that stuff and just go look for what I want to buy there. But they've got some sort of a system there where they help you identify baits based on criteria that you give them.
Yeah, region and what you select as your species. Yeah.
Right on.
So if you go in there and you say I fish for primarily largemouth and smallmouth bass, it's not going to show you a bunch of crappie jigs. Typically, it's going to show you jackhammers and frogs and jigs and that kind of stuff.
Heck yeah. So what I know you're you had a really good tournament season last year. What's the plan this year?
That's a good question. I'm definitely going to fish the Bass Nation stuff. I always do. I'll probably fish the TBF here in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. I honestly, that's on my to-do list, and maybe I'll if we have some downtime, because I'm bringing my laptop to Mexico next week, and I feel like if I don't have to do my day job stuff, if we ever have a rainy day, I might be just cranking out stuff, and maybe I'll figure out whether I can squeeze the BFLs in or what I'm going to do. Last year I did a TBF team trail with my buddy Michael. I did the state tournaments for TBF and Bass Nation, and then a couple one-off tournaments, and then I ended up making the regional and then the nationals, which ended up being a pretty full season. And then hopped in a couple other things. So we'll see. At this point, I don't have a chance to make regional. Last year I came in 11th in the top 10 go, so I was an alternate, and I got called up 48 hours before the tournament started, and then I ended up almost winning that.
I remember that.
But I'm the 9th alternate this year. I finished 20th or 22nd, or I don't know. I'm 10 or 15 back. So there's almost 0% chance that I would get a chance to go to regionals this year. So no nationals. So I don't have to kind of sit on that vacation time hoping to see.
Yeah.
So I might be able to squeeze in some other tournaments, but I haven't sat down and planned it out. I'd kind of like to get back in the BFLs because those are fun. They're not good for making money, but they're really fun to fish.
Yeah, for sure. You're right. There's not much money in those. But what up there in your northern region there? What are the primary waters that you guys fish up there?
The thing is, we have you see, right? You hear about Mille Lacs and La Crosse and a few other places, right? For the big tournaments, like the Opens and the Toyotas and stuff like that, and the Elites. But honestly, we have so many lakes that are like 2,000 to like 15,000 acres.
Yeah.
That, our circuits go to so many places you've never heard of. They've got so many options.
That sounds amazing.
I mean, like gull chain, whitefish chain, Lahamadou chain, vermilion, leech, different sections of the Mississippi River, the horseshoe chain, we go out, Minnetonka, Green Lakes. There's several Green Lakes. I don't know. There's just, I don't know, tons of stuff to fish up here.
What up, Dave? Good to see you, man. Yeah, down here, it's the same lakes over and over and over again. We got the Lake of the Ozarks. We got Pomme de Terre. We got Table Rock. There's just a handful of lakes that you rotate through. They're all the same.
I actually bought my bass cat from Pro's Choice.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, okay. They're at the top of, or the bottom of Truman, top of the Ozark, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then so we fished the river part of Lake of the Ozarks there for like a day after I picked up. We drove straight through. We got there like 3 a.m, napped for 3 hours in the truck, grabbed the boat, fished all day, and then we drove up and got a hotel like north of Kansas City, and then we fished Mazingo for half the morning, and then drove home.
Heck yeah, man, Mazingo's not bad. Got a nice golf course around.
Cool lake. Like it was really. We didn't catch a lot, but I mean, really like good looking habitat, like grass and standing timber, and
yeah. Yeah, that's one. Even a lot of people in Missouri don't even know about that lake. So I'm surprised you know that one.
I think we were just kind of like, Google mapping what could we find like that was like a little closer to home so we could fish, not have like a full like 10-hour drive when we were done.
Yeah, that's fun. I've done some of those spontaneous sort of trips, just hitting lakes that you've never tried before. That's always fun. But up in Minnesota area up there, it always sounds like with all the lakes that there's just some real treasures that don't get a lot of pressure. Where down here, man, everything gets pressured like you wouldn't believe. Because we don't have any natural made lakes here. Everything is man-made. So it really limits, what's available other than the big rivers like the Missouri River. And you don't want to fish the freaking Missouri River. I mean, geez. Unless you're catfishing.
Not there, but like up in South Dakota, there's some good fishing.
Yeah, once you get further north, it's great. But down
like Hawaii and some of those are pretty good.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, Gary, we do have it good for about 6 to 8 months, and then we have the time this year where it was -10 outside and the wind's blowing and there's 3 feet of ice and it's not so good.
Yeah, the other thing that I don't know if I could get used to, which I don't know if it's true for you guys, but it's definitely true for the Detroit guys and other places up there. They have a season where they literally can't catch a bass. Have you got that as well? Because I can catch bass year round.
You can catch them, but you're not supposed to target them. So our bass season is closed from the last weekend in February until basically Mother's Day.
Yeah, that sucks. I wouldn't like that.
And then we have like a 2-week catch and release season, and then it opens up. but
you have
just as they used to have a very similar thing where they were basically up until May 1st, but they just now opened a year-round catch and release season. So maybe Minnesota won't be too far down the road, and we'll have a catch and release.
Heck yeah, that's all.
Because we do typically on a lot of years miss, at least where I live in the state, a month of open water when you can't target bass, and would be really cool to be working on that pre-spawn game.
Yeah,
because that's when you'd have your one of your best chances at like a PB, like true like freak, right? Is in that super early pre-spawn. Otherwise, we got to go to South Dakota now, or Wisconsin, or the Mississippi River, and we can start fishing whenever.
I really like that Mississippi River. I've only fished it twice, but man, I love it up there in Wisconsin. I got to go back. I know it gets that pool 7, 8, 9 get tons of pressure, but I've heard the other pools are pretty awesome too. You fish many like the 4, 5, 6, those other pools besides the ones that are right around La Crosse at all the tournaments.
Yeah. So where I was waiting in the winter, that was north of the cities in the Mississippi River. One of my favorite lakes up by Grand Rapids. I mean, Mississippi goes forever, right? And Okegama Lake connects to and for a long time, my biggest ever fish was like 6 1/4 on a frog out of that section.
Huh.
But like starting around pool 2 can be good. It's catch and release year round there, so that's one place we can fish year round. That's right by St. Paul, which is
Okay.
probably like 20-30 minutes from my house. And then pool 4, where Lake Pepin is in Wabasha, that's where the fishing really starts to get good down, and then it's pretty much good all the way down to like 9-10. Like it's all like that's all good fishing. Like
Oh, awesome.
and then like I got some. So our state tournament this last year was out of Wabasha on 4 and 5, and then the regional was out of 7, 8, and 9. I've fished as far down as maybe like 12 or 13, but it's been several years.
Cool. Well, I was
I have
totally.
a dream to like I need to like get Debo to meet me at like Prairie du Chien, which is like pool 10, and take him out frog fishing on the river. I think that would be cool.
That would be sick, man. You guys could have some good videos. Create some nice content doing that. So speaking of the spawn, when's the spawn around your time?
Typically, it's usually right around our opener, which they're trying to protect, and they miss it. It's like usually the last 2 weeks of May.
Yeah,
And it up here, it's like 2 weekends up and done. Like you'll have a little bit of like a pre-wave, and then 2 weeks of like 90%, and then maybe some stragglers, at least in the metro. Upper northern Minnesota, it stretches out some of the bigger, deeper lakes. It does.
uh-huh.
But then like the other thing is like up north, like 4 hours north of me, they'll still have ice on the opener sometimes.
Wow. Yeah. So what's your opinion about bed fishing? Some conservation wise, what do you think? How you feel about it?
I mean, I try not to do it a lot unless it's in a tournament, but I do really enjoy it. I will stop and fish for a big fish, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a balance. I think it's like it's good in moderation. It's just fine, but
Yeah.
like, do you need to go out on a smallie lake and just hammer every single one you see for 5 miles all day long? Probably not. But like, if you want to catch a couple, I don't see a big deal. But like, the problem is, like, I got to Lake Mille Lacs when everybody goes up for like a 3-4 weekend stretch, and there's 100, 200 boats out there all bed fishing. It's like it does stressful on the fish, which isn't great.
Yeah. I'm kind of torn about it too because I love it, and it's a really fun part of fishing. I also have a really good buddy here that's a fish biologist, and he's like, "Listen, man, you cannot hurt it's just not a deal. It's not a deal." But it's hard to argue with what you were just saying when you're on a tournament or you're there on a weekend and literally you see boat after boat after boat. His argument is, look, I don't care how good you think these fishermen are, but if you for every fishable bed that's out there that you see that you can fish, he said there's probably 100 or 200 beds that you guys don't see, you don't have any access to, you got no idea about.
I agree. I don't think it affects the overall recruitment of the lake because there's enough fish that will spawn that those fry will survive. Like there's only a certain amount of like, biospawn or biomass in a lake and fry that can survive.
Yeah.
I think it is. It's just like the individual. I'm not saying that like, yeah, you may ruin a couple fish's spawn, which won't affect the aggregate spawn, but some of them fish just get beat up so bad, right? And how many times does a 4-pounder need to be caught? And that 4-pounder might be 10 years old. So it's just like,
I hear you. Yeah, there's definitely some legitimacy to it. It's boy, man, I would sure hate it if they were to say you can't do any of it though. Yeah, interesting. What do we got comment wise here? Waxworms have been great bait in the ice. Good to know, I guess.
It's a popular. You dropping them on a drop kick spoon or a clam. I don't know what, whatever all their little clam. I don't know. Sometimes I watch Sobe ice fishing videos just because he's such a good, video maker. I don't care less about the ice fishing, but I think he just does such a great job with storytelling and editing. I enjoy watching his content.
Yeah. Have you ever watched that guy, North Dakota Yak Angler?
I've seen some of it. Like I remember seeing his. Yeah, he does some cool. So he gets a lot of like cool river, smallie action and topwater stuff.
He's got some amazing footage. He's got one, if you've never seen it, where he put some GoPros in the beds of some smallie beds. Have you seen that one?
don't think so, but I've seen other people do that.
Yeah, and then he goes and catches these smallies on the beds, and the footage he has is just freaking amazing. And then he's got some pike videos where blow ups, topwater blow ups mostly, that are just insane to watch. I mean, he is very fun to watch, I think anyway. But he's not what I'd call socially very friendly. I've tried to reach out to him before, and he's like, he won't respond at all. And I don't know if that's just me or
some of the bass tournament anglers on the pro level are that way too.
That's true. I've that's really kind of shocked me too, because in my mind, a pro angler, isn't it all about promotion? Isn't it about promoting yourself in the sport to make a living?
Should be. And I think, honestly, if we're being brutally honest, there's probably only 10 of them that should maybe even think they're above going on somebody's show that'll get 50, 60, or 100 viewers, because
you're right.
You're not as big as you think you are. Tournament fishing is, I love it. Like, I'm ate up with tournament fishing. I love it. But I'm also understand that, like, we're like this tiny little piece of the fishing pie, and we're just like a little dot on the map. So honestly, most of these guys, unless your name is KVD or Jason Christie or
That's
Jacob
true.
Wheeler, you probably should be answering just about everybody's. Even if you're busy and you can't get to it, you probably should be responding, because you may need that bridge someday.
Yeah. I mean, it's like old John Cox that was on our show last night, man. What, talk about a nice guy, man. He couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah, I mean, and like, he's the guy that probably could argue that, like, he could be above that, but he's not.
Yeah. He's like, look at all of my $100,000 checks on the wall up here. I don't need you. But man, he's as down to earth and friendly as they come, man. It's amazing. We had Ken Duke on the show a while back, and we were talking about this, and he said, have you heard him talk about the fact that they at the Classic they did an official survey of name recognition for pro anglers?
Yeah, and like 80% of the people didn't even know who KVD were that were walking through the Classic or something like that.
It was like the only person that even registered that a small percentage knew was Bill Dance. He was the most popular guy. And you're like, Bill Dance, man, he hasn't competed. He hasn't competed in 40 years.
Bill Dance, Roland Martin, and Jimmy Houston were the three biggest, I think.
Yeah, it's like, wow, man. So you're right.
Yeah, I gotta have Steve hook me up with Ken. I gotta have Ken on my stream sometime.
Oh man, Ken's so awesome. Yeah,
I'd love to just talk shop. Even if nobody watched it, I'd love to sit down and talk to Ken for an hour.
We can make that happen, dude. I mean, he's great. Super, just great. Another guy too that knows so much about the sport, and he'll pick up the phone and talk to you anytime about anything. He doesn't have a lick of conceit about him at all.
But he's very much understands how small bass fishing is.
He really does. But you make a good point. This is something Steve and I talk about a lot, which is, who really has the ability to bring in more sales when it comes to fishing tech. And I think social media influencers have a whole lot more power than people give us credit for. I mean, it. Anytime you talk about a product, you've got some of your viewers that go out and buy it. That they absolutely do. And
there's a handful of tournament anglers that move the needle, but there's a whole lot of them that think they move the needle that don't move the needle.
You're right. That's the absolute.
It's just a harsh reality. Like,
it's like okay. Let me get your opinion of this one here. This is the one thing Randy Blockett says that just I can't even believe. I cannot believe there's truth to this. And he says something along the lines that there is no better advertising for your sponsors than a wrap boat. That a wrap boat gets, I don't know how many thousands of views per year, and that it by far is the number one marketing tool out there for fishing. And I've heard him say this multiple times on his channel, and I'm like, how in the heck can you really say? I mean,
I think you can argue that it gets you the most impressions for your dollar. I think that is an argument that could be a valid argument.
Okay.
That literally the number of people
that
see that boat going up and down the road on the water.
They see Bridgeford
Impressions
turkey over
per
and over.
dollar. You could make that. But
does it
from
translate
a conversion and ROI on sales?
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I don't either. I don't see how it can. I mean, of course, I don't know how I'm influenced myself, but like, I can't ever recall seeing something on a boat and saying to myself, I'm gonna go check that out. Other than
Rarely.
other than what's his name that had the tomatoes on the side of his boat.
I think it's probably better. I think for a non-endemic,
yeah,
I think he probably is a good ROI. But for endemic sponsors, I don't think it's that great.
Yeah, like every time I saw those red gold tomatoes or whatever, I'm like, that dude's got tomatoes on his boat. Look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was Holloway, Todd Hollowell from Indiana.
Yeah, I don't even know who the angler is. I've been in several.
I don't think he even fishes tournaments anymore. He had a brother as well. And honestly, to this day, I still typically try to buy red gold, tomatoes and tomato sauce when I'm cooking chili or whatever, because they supported the sport. And I figure like if it's even on the shelf, I'm gonna buy the red gold.
I do the same thing. Like on the Major League Fishing box, they've put these little Barbasol shaving cream packets in there, and we laugh about it. Look, but then I say, guys, there's no other shaving cream supporting fishing. Go buy this brand.
Yeah. Because back in the day, in the FLW days, like Snickers and some of those things, I would, if I was like, I'll get the Snickers. Like if I was kind of like, I didn't really have a hard hankering, I was like, sure, like they're putting money into the sport.
Me too. Mountain Dew.
Although I don't do Jack Link's beef jerky. It's not good jerky.
Yeah. I don't know about the Bridgeford. Actually, I got some Bridgeford the other day, and that's probably Randy. You can get credit for that. Call it Bridgeford.
Well, let's give the credit to Matt Steffen instead. How's that sound?
Okay, fair enough. Oh man, he's got an interesting channel. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day about what's a good YouTube. You're always trying to figure out how to get more views, and he does this video every frigging day. Every day he turns on the camera and the new super secret way to fish a Cinco that nobody's ever fished before. And then he takes a Cinco and he says, "You rub it up. You rub it really good. That's the secret."
And then you pull the arms off your brush hog, and then
that's a secret.
You rip your bait almost in half, rub it so it's basically falling apart, almost falling off your hook. So you're guaranteed to only catch one bass and have to buy more of them.
But man, I think there's something to do in a video every single day, though, that probably has really helped him grow.
Well, there was a while he was putting out like 3 or 4 or 5 videos a day. I was like,
yeah, that's pretty. Wow. Oh man, I digress. Anyway, but
it's working.
It is. It's working.
There's no denying his results.
That's right. He's growing. He's even selling a $10 jig now. So heck, you gotta love that. Yeah, Luke Clausen is a Bridgeford guy.
He was for a while. I don't know if he still is. And then also Jim Moyna from Minnesota is Bridgeford.
I like Jim a lot. I like his channel quite a bit. And I fished with Luke actually on an open, and he was a Bridgeford guy then too. He's the only pro I've ever fished with on opens who gave me a prize pack at the end of the tournament. He's sponsored by Tackle Warehouse, and he carries these prize packs in his boat that has a hat and a few different things. And when the tournament was over, he said, "Here you go, dude." I was like, "Wow, you're the first pro I've ever fished with that actually gave me something. That's cool." There is still a dude that on the opens that fishes in a red gold boat.
Maybe he's still fishing it, but maybe
I'm pretty sure I saw him at St. Lawrence this year.
He might be. I don't know. I haven't heard of him. I mean, he was pretty active on social media though, so I feel like I would see him, but maybe not. But maybe somebody else. Maybe if Todd stepped down, maybe somebody else in the region is running that.
Yeah, it's true. Randy is the Skip Bayless of YouTube fishing channels. Hey, Skip Bayless has done pretty well for himself. So, oh man, Skip was so mad that his Cowboys lost. Oh well. Uh,
Are you a Chiefs guy?
yeah, I'm a big Chiefs guy.
So you still got a dog in the fight.
I still got a dog there. Still got a. I mean, we've played so wishy washy. I mean, we played really good the first 3 or 4 games. We lost like 6 in a row. Then we won 7 straight. It's just been nuts. So who knows? I mean, Josh Allen might kick our butt Sunday. Who knows? We'll just have to see. What are you? Are you a Vikings fan or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've I used to be really into the Vikings, and then when Favre threw across his body in the bayou, I was like, I gotta take a healthy step back. So there was a time in my life when I would stay home and watch the Vikings instead of going fishing, and now that doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, the beauty of modern day TV is I can record my Chiefs game and watch it when I get home, and then I just have to discipline myself. Do not look at your phone. Do not look at your phone until you've watched the game, or it's going to be ruined for you. What's your go-to color, HELLABASS? Alan wants to know.
For what?
For what, Alan?
Because
it depends on a hard bait or a soft bait or whatever.
Yeah, I guess this. I mean, I throw a jig a lot. That's no secret. And one of my favorites is this Bass Tech Okie Craw, which is basically black and blue on one side and green pumpkin on the bottom. So
yeah.
And I usually throw that with a speed craw or a menace scrub or something like that. That's kind of my jam.
That's a good choice. I'm really into bluegill type patterns.
This is my other one. If the water's super clean, I'll go with this black, brown, green pumpkin. If there's any kind of color in the water, I'll throw that one with a little bit of blue in it. But.
Nice. So this is one of my colors here. This is your old jackhammer. This is one of those Brett Height bluegill color.
I actually did well on. I feel like I did well on that one for smallies on vermilion.
Yeah, it's a very good color.
And the water was really clear, so instead of putting a dark trailer, I put a smoke swim out on it.
Oh yeah.
And they tore it apart, but I think I lost it finally. Need to get some more of those before I head up for the.
But, yeah, I'm really.
It's a good perch imitator up here, is what that color is.
Oh yeah. I have a lot of bluegill down here where I fish, so I'm always looking for bluegill patterns, imitators, and you don't have to have perch or bluegill in your water. Fish will still hit it, for sure. So,
is it interesting watching me dig with my head down in a?
Yeah, that's really box? Yeah.
You can see get a good look at my visor this way.
Visor action there for sure. Yeah, to visor or not to visor. We talked about that last night. I'm just not a visor dude.
The most controversy last night on the John Cox stream was the visor discussion.
It was very controversial. It got heated. So you got to be sensitive to your audience when you start talking about visors. Have you checked out Stone Man Lures? He's on the stream here, man.
I've heard of him. Right, he does custom painting, I think.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. He only charges like $10 for his crankbaits.
Raise your prices, Stone Man.
They are freaking amazing. The color. I actually might have one sitting right here in this box. Actually, he's got this black crappie color that he sent me. Check this thing out. I don't know if you can see this or not.
Yeah, no joke, Sycamore. I noticed that when I got my hair cut the other day. That it ain't as thick as it used to be. what are these things? What's this all about?
Yeah, that's just visor rub. Look at that, black crappie.
Yeah, and the big bait guys tell you that find the crappie schools, you'll find the better than average size bass on your lake.
Yeah, for sure. There's another one. I mean, $10. I can't believe he pulls this off for $10. That's amazing.
Aaron Warner, budget jerkbait rod. I guess depends on what you think is a budget. I think I would look at a Dob. I mean, is $120 in your budget? Then I would say if you like a spinning rod, go with a 663 spinning rod Dobbins Fury, or maybe a 663 casting or 703 casting and a Dobbins Fury. I don't know. It always, when you say budget, it really helps if you tell me what your budget is, what you think is a budget rod.
Yeah, because
what I think is a budget rod may be like top end for you. Under $200, then I would go the Cadence 6410. Yeah, Chris Russ just said it. The Cadence 6110 4CB. That rod is the rod that's specifically designed for jerkbaits in the whole Dobbins lineup. And the Cadence is like 170, give or take.
Okay.
If they're in stock at Omnia, you can use code HB January 15 to save yourself 15% on it.
Right on.
You get free shipping and have it in a couple days.
I bought me a few of those boom boom rods.
Yeah. Did you get them yet?
So cheap. Yeah, I got them.
Had you fished Dobbins before, or is that your first Dobbins?
Yeah, I've actually got. I've probably got 8 or 10 Dobbins rods. I've got 2 or 3 of the Champion Extremes, and then I've got probably 5 of the Champions.
Okay.
And then I've got 2 of the. They're not Furies. They were before the Furies. They're
Savvies.
The Savvies. I love those Savvies, man.
Mm-hmm. I still have like 5 Savvies that I
love the Savvies, but one of them, a buddy of mine, broke on a fishing trip, so I'm down to 1 Savvy.
You can warranty it for a Sierra.
Oh, can you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's gone.
Okay.
It broke on a Canada fishing trip, and we left it in Canada.
So if you're up in Canada watching this stream and you're at a lodge and there's a broken Savvy in the corner,
yeah,
you can warranty that for a Sierra.
Yeah. I like Dobbins rods. The only reason I quit buying them is I had a lot of guides breaking off on them, and this was several years ago. And I've heard that they fixed all that, so I didn't have any fear when I bought these 3 green Dobbins rods. I mean, I could not pass. That was a great price, like $139 for $250 rod, something like that. It was a great deal.
As long as you don't have an aversion to green, they're a great deal.
Yeah, and I have no aversion when it comes to the color. I care about how they fish. I really like Gary Dobbins too. I think he's a stand-up dude all the way, and I think he's.
And they're coming out with a Maverick series, which is kind of like black and blue. They're going to be right at that $100 price point. They're supposed to arrive any day now.
Huh. That's really cool.
They're going to look dynamite with the Shimano SLX.
Yeah.
Like a sweet combo. But they're also coming out with a Maverick reel, I think, too, for $100.
Mm-hmm.
No idea. Haven't seen one. Haven't touched one. I'm going to try to convince Gary to send me one to do a video review on.
Sweet. Yeah, definitely nothing wrong there. Oh, there's Steve. So color matters when you buy a rod.
Hey, Rusty.
Color.
A lot of people like the Dobbins swim bait, the Fury 795 swim bait rod for throwing A rigs.
Yeah, I've got,
and that's only like $130, so that's way under budget. Otherwise, maybe like a Sierra 765 or something like that would also be a good choice.
I'm still weeping over missing the 736 Boom Boom. I know. I missed that one too. It was sold out, but
they didn't last long. Once they announced that price reduction, those things were gone. There must not have been many of them left, but they were gone quick.
Yeah, I definitely would have bought one of those. Guys, you're overlooking the fact about Randy that most of his subs are from the Fish the Moment channel. I really enjoyed John.
Yeah. I don't think that that definitely helped him get his start quickly.
It did.
But a lot of it is his own content as well. I do see what you're saying, but I think that's what helped him get going quickly. But his daily videos and his controversial topics and well-worded titles have gone a long ways.
Yeah, I need to start doing that. The super secret way to handle a bullet weight that no one's ever told you about. I got to start doing more of those clickbait titles.
I mean, my best video ever is something to the effect, stop fishing the wacky rig the way you are now, or something like that.
Yeah. My best video is our boat sank. And, when your boat sinks, I mean, how can you beat that? And that's not clickbait. It happened. It was pretty crazy.
Gramps in the house. What's up, Gramps?
Right on. Don't tell me they are talking about Dandy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Stephen. That the Dobbins, the balance is very consistent from model to model. That's one thing you can bank on with a Dobbins rod.
Yeah, and I think they back their product up well. I mean,
Mhm.
what is their kind of warranty policy
It's
on?
basically a no fault warranty, and it, it goes like, I forget what it is. It's like $40 for a Fury, and then like $80 for an Extreme to warranty it replacement
Oh,
plus
and
shipping.
and like how long's the warranty good for? I mean, is it forever? Or
Lifetime. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure you could break your Savvy and they would warranty it as a Sierra.
really?
The only one that
Well,
doesn't have a warranty is the Colt, which is like their $80 rod. I don't know what if they're gonna have what kind of warranty. It has to have a warranty, but it's like a 1 year limited or something on. But everything from Fury up is lifetime, and then it's kind of what I feel is like a really fair, right? Um, sometimes certain companies when they first come out, they'll do a no question warranty, and then that goes away pretty quick when they realize that.
this is costing money.
The other thing is like if you ever do have an eyelet break or something like that, you just call them up and they'll just send you a bunch of replacements, and then you can take them to your local shop or do it yourself, right? Even if you take it to somewhere and pay somebody $15 to throw an eyelet on for you, that's way cheaper than shipping it in and having them fix it. But if you don't want to and you want to send it in and you want to pay the $50, they'll give you a new rod if you don't want to deal with replacing an eye.
Yeah, that was a lot easier back when it only cost $20 to ship a rod, but the shipping's gone through the roof
Yeah, I think
now.
they've had to bump theirs up to 30 now.
Yeah. I wonder how many guys on here have ever had or remember the Loomis wild cards that you got with the NRX rods, and I think you might have got them with GLXs too. You got them with NRXs and GLXs. I've still got about 4 wild cards in my safe in case that wild card deal was really cool. If you're not familiar with it, are you familiar with it, HELLABASS?
It sounds like it rings a bell. I don't know that I ever did it, but
So basically, if you bought a GLX or an NRX, they just gave you a literal card that looks like a card out of a 52 card deck of cards, but it says printed on it the G Loomis wild card, and as long as you kept the card, anything could happen to that rod. You could lose it, you could break it, doesn't matter what it is. All you got to do is go to your Loomis dealer, give them the wild card, they give you a new rod. It only one time, but it really made, if you're buying a $400 rod, it
right.
really made it. You're actually getting 2 $400 rods for the same price. But they quit doing that. Now they do a similar thing, I think, where you pay $100 or something and they'll replace the rod or something along those lines.
David says analog NFT.
That's right. It's an analog NFT, man. Maybe I should do that's not a bad idea at all. That's
Yeah.
sharp food.
Before pre-Shimano, I felt like Loomis had a really good warranty program.
Yeah,
but I felt like after that is when I broke a rod on a hook set that I feel was a very legit warranty claim, sent it in, and they basically said they weren't going to cover it, and they would let me buy a $300 rod for $200 or whatever it was, and I was like,
yeah.
That was about the time that I started to mess around with some Dobbins, and then I just threw the rest of my Loomises up on eBay and switched over to Dobbins. And
yeah, I mean, I can't really argue with that thinking, because that absolutely did change when Shimano bought them out. Yeah. No question. One thing that surprises me is how many companies now are trying to create $500 rods. Isn't Dobbins coming out with or don't they have a $500?
They already have it. The Ecstasy's been out for probably 3 years now, at least.
So what do you think of it? Have you fished it? Have you tried it?
I haven't. I held a couple at Omnia this spring or this winter, but I haven't fished one yet.
Interesting.
I'm scared.
Oh man.
I already feel like the Extremes, the HPs, are a luxury. Like,
yeah.
A Caden, a Champion XP, you don't even need those to catch bass, let's face it. But anything above those is really just like, it's a luxury. It's like chroming out your Harley. It's like, putting a cattle catcher on your pickup. Like, it doesn't really, it's not going to help you.
I like the Champion line quite a bit. I mean, that's where I bought most of my rods of the Dobbins line. So are you, when it comes to crankbait fishing, are you a glass guy or are you a carbon guy?
I like anti-glass.
You're anti-glass.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one way to put it.
I would imagine Foundation Repair that they will warranty the boom booms as champions, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
Worst
don't know.
case scenario is they would warrant him as like a Caden or a Sierra, but I would bet they would warrant him as champions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just where I fish, there's a lot of grass, and I think that's why I prefer a graphite composite or graphite type blank. I just feel like I want to feel when there's something hung up on it and it snaps out of there better, and I'm just more comfortable with it. There's nothing against glass for the people that like it. It's just not me. Like I don't fish glass chatterbait rods. I don't fish glass crankbait rods. Now maybe if I got into like ledge fishing where I was throwing like deep plugs a lot, maybe. But up here where I fish, I don't like it.
I fish a lot of glass, only for crankbaits, but I fish other rods as well. But I have some of my favorite crankbait rods are those Dobbins Champion glass rods.
Yeah, I really like the non-glass
705
versions.
CB. What?
Like I really like the non-glass Champ crankbait rods.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried that one, to tell you the truth.
But I saw, was it Sycamore that said, surprise, there are a few companies that sell like 4 and 6 rods in a kit. I feel like they're kind of newer companies, but yeah, you can get, I forget the names of them, but there are a couple companies that do that where you can buy like a 4-pack of rods and you get like one spinning rod and a crankbait rod and a jig rod and a flipping stick or something like that.
Hey, Punch Fishing's on here.
Wants to know about your logo.
Yeah, he wants to know about logo. It is the Quad City River Bandits, and they're out of Davenport, Iowa. So kind of, who knows? This might be one of Debo's teams for all I know, but I think it's a pretty sweet looking hat. But
I think Stix, Stix is one, STIX. It also does like a.
Speaking of high-end rods, Punch Fishing, man, he is into high-end rods, dude. That guy knows his high-end rods. So go check out Punch Fishing's channel if you really want to know about high-end stuff. I've got my fair share of high-end stuff, but I don't do a ton of videos on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't the Stix Fishing the one that has like only 5 rods available?
Yeah, and you can buy them one, but they like it's like they have like starter kit where you buy like 6 rods for like $500 or something.
You know what's weird is it's probably just a stigma in my head. When I see something like that, I just think frog fur, gimmick, only 5 rods. Now, what's funny is I have a video where I talk about the 6-rod system. You only need 6 rods. There's really only 6 rods you need, and you can cover pretty much every technique out there. But I get the concept, the blue rod does this, the red rod does that, the green rod does that, and it covers everything, and it makes it super simple. And I guess there's nothing wrong with simplicity, but to me, I don't know, it just kind of turns me off. I don't.
Yeah, I only need 6 rods, but I like having 30.
Yeah, I do too. In fact, if I find a specific rod I really like, I want 5 or 6 just of that rod. But 6 sticks for $500. Will really likes them apparently, and I don't know. I've heard about them, but I've never tried them, so I don't know nothing about them really. But I'll bet you Punch Fishing is not buying any Stix rods. Just a guess.
He did buy the Guggen Gold Rod to do a review on it.
Oh, did he? Well, the Guggens are trying to do a lot of things like that, where they're trying to come up with systems that are, kind of simplify and break down fishing for more entry-level type anglers. And there's probably a market for that. There's people out there that just, they don't want to have to try to figure it out. And they'd much rather you say, look, if you buy this rod with this kind of kit, it's going to cover all the techniques you need. It's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing is like, it all depends on your market. Like, yeah, Stix is not getting, if you already have 20 rods, you're not going to go and buy a Stix starter kit to get 5 rods for, whatever, right? Like, right. But if you're new to fishing and you're like, hey, I want to get into this, it's not a bad way to go, I would think.
Yeah. I mean, if I kind of rewind to back in the day when I really started getting seriously into fishing, I may have considered I may have considered like a simple 6-rod system. I think if I was the guy running sticks, though, I would think, all right, what's the next level? When people want to jump off from this, what are we providing? I'd start thinking about products beyond that. I think I would anyway. Curly, thanks for the support. Okay. Just kind of looking through the comments here.
But yeah, Keith, the 734 is decent with jigs, but the 744 XP is really good for jigs. But the XP 734 is a much more versatile rod. Like you can throw a chatterbait, you can throw a jig, you can flip a tube, you can throw a spinnerbait. Like it's just got a little bit more modern action that allows you to do a ton of things well, but doesn't do much anything great. But maybe a great swim jig rod, I would say.
Witch Doctor custom rods. Never even heard of them.
I think there's a couple guys up. I don't know if they might be from up here somewhere. There's a couple guys I know that fish them. I've seen them at some of the sports shows in Minneapolis before.
Interesting. They've got a fishing show here this week. Might be over. It's so freaking cold. There's not much to do except go buy stuff. Seen more good.
Brian read his Falcon rods. Falcon rods are good. They've been around forever. I think like maybe Sycamore on here. I think he fished a lot of Falcon rods. I used to have some Falcons back in the day. They've always been hard to get up in my market, but nothing wrong with them. I think
Jason Christie's a Falcon guy.
Yeah. Jason Christie, Brad Hallman, I'm pretty sure fishes Falcon. There's quite a few guys. I mean, they're out of Texas. I mean, down in Texas, if you can find some deals, or if you have some dealers by you where you can feel them and pick them out, I don't know much about them and tell you like advice, but nothing wrong with Falcon rods by any means.
Yeah, I totally agree on that. What about arc rods? Fish them at all?
No, don't really have any experience with arc rods.
Me neither. Don't know anything about those.
Spam's on your channel this time, not mine.
Oh, is it? Oh, yeah.
It says I was flirting with around 90 some for a while.
Yeah, I got 146 showing on mine.
Is that total or just you?
Yeah, that's probably total. What's weird is sometimes it's not. I don't know how they do it, but right now it's showing 146. So that's pretty good.
If I have 90 and you have, then we're really killing it.
Yeah, we are. Heck yeah. My buddy broke 3 Falcons in one day. That's a bad day. Breaking 3 rods.
That suggests to me there was an event.
Yeah.
Some trauma when you were carrying them, or when they got thrown in the boat, or somebody tripped and maybe, I don't know, like that just, I feel like something happened that you didn't know and compromised the integrity of them, and then they all blew up later.
Yeah. Curly Q, I love St. Croix rods. I've got quite a few of their rods, and of course, I really love their Legend Extreme rod, but dude, it's so freaking expensive. That's the most painful thing I ever did. I had a Legend Extreme that fell off my boat and went to the bottom.
I lost a couple Loomises back in the day.
That was a painful day.
On the Illinois River, like I was fishing a really heavy current right below like Spillway Dam area, and I got caught in a seam, and like the boat swung and it like hit a rock, and the whole boat rocked, and like 2 or 3 rods went right over, and the current, you just watch them go whoosh, and it was like they gone.
Oh, that sucks. Oh yeah, get your fish on. He's with Temple Fork Outfitters right now, and just signed with them, and they've got some nice stuff. They do a lot of fly rods and saltwater rods and all kinds of different.
Didn't Gary Loomis have a hand in Temple Fork at one time? Does that sound right?
I think he did. Maybe Steve will know. Gary Loomis, he's an innovator. I mean, he's done some very interesting things. He's got a line of rides himself out now that I've never tried. I've thought about it, but I've never pulled the trigger on it. So what do you got coming up on your show here in the near future?
Well, next week is a week off. I'm probably going to take the recording from this and throw it up as a podcast next week.
Good idea. Cool.
I got a couple things recorded that I'm hoping to get edited. There'll be a lot more fantasy fishing stuff coming in the near future. I did a recent video where I talked about how to get into fantasy fishing, how to start, how to sign up, how easy it is, what you can win. So that was this week's video.
Yeah. So what are you doing there in the fantasy fishing world? Tell everybody about that.
Yeah. So I couple things, right? I cover it on my channel in video format. I do a preview for every single event and kind of break them down, give my picks, that kind of stuff, and kind of give you kind of some insight on how you might want to pick your team. And then that includes regular fantasy fishing and Drain the Lake. I also write an article, a pundit piece for Bassmaster.com. So if you go into the fantasy fishing section in the pundit section, you'll see my article for every tournament where I give kind of like my top pick and my second pick for each bucket.
Cool.
And then, we cover them on the streams as well, talk fancy fishing strategy, things like that. And I also have a private group called Beat HELLABASS. So if you guys want to dip your toe into fantasy fishing or you already play and you want to join my group, it would be great if you watched my channel, but for those on Mr. Bass. But if not, the password is Visor, all capital letters, VISOR.
Sweet.
And then I have arranged for Omnia Fishing to support the group, and we're giving away $25 Omnia gift cards for every event for both regular fantasy fishing and Drain the Lake. So every event, there's 2 winners of a $25 gift card to Omnia Fishing.
Perfect.
Yeah. So it'll get you some tackle. And then you're only competing against people in my group, where you can join all the tackle warehouse groups, and right, those are all great. And there's the overall prizes where you're competing against thousands of people. Now I want to get my group as big as possible. I would really like it if you guys would join, because my goal is to, as a private group, is to catch Ronnie Moore and pass the Beat Ronnie Moore group. So let's all go over to Beat HELLABASS, create your fantasy team, sign up, password Visor, and let's pass Beat Ronnie Moore with the Beat HELLABASS group.
All right. Throw down. So we're doing one of those too, and who knows what we're going to do on it. It should be fun, but we don't have it nearly as organized as you've got. We're just gonna we'll see what happens there.
You got any tackle back there you can give away to winners, or what do you like?
I don't know. I got a little bit here and there. I mean, we'll see. It's going to zoom out. No, it doesn't zoom out very much, but I've definitely got tackle I can give away. Jeez, I got so much freaking tackle. That's why I give a lot of it away, because I'm like, I'll never be able to fish it all.
Yeah, let's check here. Groups. We were like, we're the biggest private group already, and I started it late because I wanted to make sure Omnia was on board before I promised anything. We got 174. Beat Ronnie Moore's at 344. Yeah, and then also for the members of my channel, I'm doing another private group for the members of the channel. So I'm out of my own pocket getting some gift cards for the members to play for as well.
Cool.
And I think Carl asked a little bit further back, what is Drain the Lake? Drain the Lake is a different style fantasy fishing game that they started last year, and it's an elimination game or a survivor game, if you've ever done like that in like football, where you like pick one team each week, and if you keep winning, but then once you pick that team, you can't use it again. So every event, every tournament, you get to pick 8 anglers off the Bass Elite Series roster, but once you pick those 8, you can't use them the next week. So, if you want to use Scott Martin, John Cox, and all the Florida guys at St. John's, then they're gone for Harris Chain. Right. Or if you think Corey Johnson's a good sight fisherman, you want to use him at St. John's, then you can't use him at the end of the year at the St. Lawrence River.
Yeah, that's cool. Sounds like a lot of fun.
That's true. Sly Fox, your crankbait is in the mail. Nice. I had a chartreuse baby blue Pose cedar crankbait that was sitting up here forever, and he's been bugging me, so I finally shipped it to him. I got this fat-free shad though.
Oh yeah, fat-free shad.
It's got Bill Dance's name on it.
Yeah, I got several of those.
Oh, come on, folks.
Still a good.
I need to get a different camera. I need a fancy camera like Mr. Bass at some point.
Yeah, it's definitely helped.
Actually, Carl, so you asked about a spreadsheet. It is for that good to build out a spreadsheet. And I actually built out an online Google sheet for it. and I unveiled it to all my members on my stream and the after hours members only stream. So that was a perk I did for my members, is I built a template, and it has like conditional formatting so that if you pick them in the same tournament, it turns the rows red and shows you where you've like duplicated an angler.
Cool. Oh yeah, so they're asking where your lure camera is. Well, he's connected to me tonight, so his lure camera won't work.
Yeah, because we're on Restream and not StreamYard, I can't fire up the bait cam. So
Right.
So in 2 weeks, so like February 2nd or 3rd, we'll break out the bait cam again on stream. I don't know if I'll have a guest. We might just break down the St. John's River that week. Maybe do a fantasy fishing intense show. Maybe I'll see if I can find a guest that wants to talk fantasy fishing. Not sure. But other than that, I got a reel review coming out soon. So this is kind of a little bit of a departure for me. But Runkle reached out to me to do a review. This is like an online only reel, Amazon, runkle.com, $50 reel budget. And I did a comparison. I recorded it today. I'm hoping to edit it and get it out. And I compared it against the Daiwa Revros, which is a $50 reel. And then I also compared it to a Daiwa Fuego, which is a $100 reel that I use a lot. So I thought that would be a unique aspect, because the Runkles you can't really buy. Like, you can't go into a local tackle store and buy it and get your hands on it. So I thought if I showed all the differences in comparison to something you can buy, then it would be relatable. And if somebody felt like they wanted to make a move on it, they could, or they would see why, or maybe why not. I'll tell you what, it's a very robust, sturdy reel. But that's all I'll tell you about it now. I'm not going to open it. I'm just going to. It does have a cool, like, honey badger looking logo on it, though. I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, cool. Well, I actually got into that a little bit watching Hallman last year. Oh, there it is.
Don't forget, there's a couple people asking about it.
And Hallman, Hallman's kind of famous for buying junk reels and fishing with junk reels. I don't know if he's still doing it, but as a pro on the Major League, on the FLW tour, he was fishing pro tournaments with $20 reels from China. And I was like, oh my gosh, those have got to be junk. So I bought a few.
Yes.
And went and tried them.
Tim Maynard's doing his job. He's finally moderating, cleaning up things. Good job, Tim.
Good. And they're junk. They're absolute junk. I do not know how he competes at the highest level fishing those junk $20 Chinese reels. I mean, they are crap.
Yeah. Yeah, he says some of them he literally throws away. Like,
yeah.
like doesn't even use them. Carl, I know Punch Fishing just did his initial review, kind of like initial unboxing of a 150 MGL today on his channel.
Yeah.
I see if we can get a bunch of likes and thumbs up, maybe we can get my stream to 100, and then as soon as it hits 100, we'll open this box. Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Let's see if we could make that happen. That would be sweet. I'm still showing 145 over here.
But his whole thing, right, was like the fluorocarbon in my reel is worth more than the reel itself.
Yeah, that's right. The and it's true. So I did the same thing. I went and got me some of my Brazex there, or my Invezex, and spool it up on that. And those reels are junk. And I bought the same brand he was using, and I'm telling you, man, they are terrible.
I will say that, like, I am pretty impressed with the Revros for $50. Like, if you're really looking for a budget spinning reel, I think the Daiwa Revros is a really nice reel for that price.
But Daiwa has a reputation to protect.
Right. And the other thing is, like, over time, companies like Shimano and Daiwa, they keep pushing their technology down. Right. It comes out at the at the Stellas and the Ballistics and all those really high end, right, like, reels, and then, like, 10 years later, that stuff ends up in the $100 reels.
Yeah, exactly. Like, here's one of them right here. The BC 200 Lizard. There's your Lizard deal. And this sucker, it's actually got a, look at that. If you need to prepare it, it's all But this sucker is pure 100% crap. The BC 200, I do not recommend this for anyone, not even my worst enemy. But this is what it looks like. I've got braid on it right now. Doesn't look that bad, just up close. But look, 17 plus 1 bearings. And I'm telling you what, all 17 bearings are just rattling around in there fighting with each other.
They're like, well, we didn't actually put them into place, but they're in the reel somewhere.
Yeah, they're in here somewhere. I mean, it's just, and you just would not believe the drag's terrible. Just everything about it is just horrible. So I got to hand it to Bradley Hallman. If he can actually win tournaments fishing with that crap, he needs bonus money. They need to give him a lot of extra something for fishing these. Here's another one that he was recommending, the Migo, and it's the same sort of thing. There's your lizard, stainless steel gear, 10 kilogram drag power, 9 1-to-1 gear ratio.
It's a burner.
Yeah, it's a burner. So I don't know. There's something appealing though about fishing successfully with just a $17 reel, isn't there? If you could really make it work.
YouTube, because Paulman does use braid, but most of his flipping around hardcover he does with fluoro. But like when he gets into grass, he'll use braid.
Yeah, and I fished most of those mostly with fluorocarbon. But once I totally destroyed my spool full of fluorocarbon, then I pulled out and put some braid on to do some frog fishing with it. And it was pathetic. Best cheap reel, the Abu Black Max. Okay. I used to be kind of an Abu guy. I used to have a bunch of their premieres.
Mm-hmm.
Liked those a lot, but I haven't fished with any Abus in quite a while now. So
yeah, I mean it's a solid budget reel from everything. I haven't used one in a long time, but I did buy like a silver Abu Max something one time because I was like I had some time to kill in the Dallas area, and I bought a travel rod and like a $70 Abu and bought some braid and went out behind the hotel and the drainage ditches and caught some bass on a spinnerbait.
Cool. So what's your flavor when it comes to the pro circuit? Do you prefer the 5-fish format or the Major League Fishing?
I think I hit 101, so we're gonna have to open the box here in a minute.
Oh, snap. Awesome.
Trevor's like, it's there. Open the box. Yeah, I'm more of a 5-fish. I think the every fish count could be interesting too, but the way that MLF does it, right? It's just like fish catch to fish catch to fish catch. Sometimes you don't even see the hook set. You don't see the setup. There's not a lot of like transfer information and learning. Like I want to see them make the decisions. And this is coming from a tournament angler, right?
Right.
Maybe not everybody else does, but me personally, right? And maybe it works for their demographic and maybe it works for them and they're getting more views because maybe that's what the larger audience wants to see. But for me, I'd rather watch a little bit of a lull on live and watch them make the decision or change an area or switch a presentation to get a bite versus just flip, cut angler to angler just to reel them in. Like
they need to do something about that because in the early days of Major League Fishing, I think it was more entertaining to watch than it is now.
And I think because you only had like 6, 8, 10 boats out at a time, so there wasn't like this instead now it's 40, right? So it's just like boom, 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 boom. There's never a second of
Yeah. We had Jacob Wheeler on, and he was telling us about. Obviously, he's very successful at that format. Obviously,
it's a fun format to fish. Like I've fished the format.
He mentioned, that he just really likes being able to keep score through the whole tournament. And the thing that he didn't realize he felt like was kind of a handicap is on a 5-fish limit. You have no idea how you're doing until the end of the day. He said, I don't know of any other sport out there where you're not keeping score throughout the game. I'm behind, I'm down a touchdown, or I'm down 3 runs, or I'm down whatever. He said, it's only in fishing where you literally fish an entire event the whole entire day, and you have no idea how you're doing compared to your competition until it's over. Now, the format that BASS has done the last couple of years, where they're turning in their stuff, has kind of fixed some of that, but still. All right, let's crack it open, Hellabass.
Yeah, I would say the only thing I'll say is, like, if you fish in every fish format, there is a point of no return where you feel defeated. Like, they always say you can always come back, but then there also is, like, literally, like, when you're 50 pounds down with 45 minutes left, it's over. Like, you're done.
Over.
But like in a 5-fish tournament, I literally only need 5 flips to get back in. Even if I'm got 0 and the winner brings in 20 pounds, if I pull up on the right point or the right dock or the right stretch of milfoil and I make the right 5 flips, you can come back in 10 minutes.
That's right. We've seen people do it many, many times. Yeah, cool. All right, he's breaking it open. He's got the
battle braid scissors ready to go.
Do not use scissors the way he's using them, boys and girls. That's dangerous.
No? This is dangerous?
No, the spinning around your head.
Oh. They're also great for making visors, these Arsenal battle braid scissors. So I had been good. I hadn't bought any tackle probably since like Black Friday.
Holy cow, man. You've got some discipline.
So like I made it 19 days into the new year before I bought any tackle, and most of
that's impressive. 19 whole days. That's almost 3 weeks.
But they see, well, I probably made it almost 2 months without buying any tackle.
Wow. I admire that, man.
Do you go by 2 days without getting a box in your, like?
No, probably not.
Do you have like a really like unique relationship with your postal and UPS carriers, or like?
Yeah, I probably do. My lady knows me on a first name basis here for sure.
You should have like a mailbox cam.
Yeah,
they can see the monster bass and the mystery tackle boxes and everything show up.
That's true.
You should put a trail cam out on your mailbox.
Trail cam on the mailbox.
I'm not even going to charge you for these ideas, Mr. Bass.
That is fantastic, man. That was worth having you on the channel.
So basically what got me off is Omnia got a few things in stock that I had to pull the trigger on because I knew they weren't going to last long.
Heck yeah.
Plus they were running a sale for premium members. I think this is actually 2 orders. So I actually ordered in the morning, and then like they finished the pallet of stuff they were unloading, and then I reordered again. But I think they put it all in the same box. I think, maybe not.
All right.
Also get a nice note if you never order from Omnia. They always handwrite a note. It says, "Thanks for your continued support, Rich. Best of luck fishing." Anson, something.
Cool. Yeah.
Sent me a sticker, 2 stickers. Look at that. They hooked me up with 2 stickers. All right.
So here's one thing. You have to spend $50 to get a sticker? Like
maybe.
Tackle Warehouse?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
I spent over 100 this time, I think. So the first thing is something that's been out, but I hadn't ordered because I wasn't going to just order this. Although I could just have ordered them because I have premium, and you can buy like 1 bag of worms. And so I bought these Thursday, and I got them today. No, or what? Today's Thursday. I bought them Wednesday, and I got them today.
Cool.
And I didn't pay for shipping. So I got the Adrenaline Craw Juniors.
Dude.
I got these in white. I bought some of the Adrenaline Craws last year, and they were a little bigger than I wanted.
Yeah.
And but I feel like these are going to be amazing little swim jig trailers. Because I'm already such a huge fan of the Meniscrub.
What about the Adrenaline Bug Juniors? Have you tried them?
No, I haven't.
This came in my mystery.
So many beavers.
Came in my mystery tackle box this month.
So there it is. It's actually just a touch longer than a Meniscrub.
Oh yeah.
But similar flanges, a little bit ribs on the side. The white I got for swim jigs and maybe some chatterbaits. Although I don't typically throw this style on chatterbaits a ton, more of a swim jig. So that's that.
I love that Rage Menace, man.
Yeah. So I'm basically looking at ways to like diversify my use of the Meniscrub with other versions of the Meniscrub.
Exactly.
And then I had to get some green pumpkin blues because I love me some like green pumpkin fleck, like blue candy. That's my jam. Like I throw a ton of green pumpkin blue menace. So they're like these will be jig trailers, chatterbait trailers, swim jig trailers. Like these will.
I love that color, green pumpkin blue. I got that color in so many different baits.
Dadbot said Scott Martindale an 810 on this same adrenaline bug. Is he not a Guggen guy anymore?
Yeah, I thought he was a Guggen guy all the way, man.
A bunch of hard baits in here now, man. So can anybody guess the durability? I don't know. I haven't fished them. I think similar, Chris Russ, but I haven't. I mean, I didn't have any durability issues with the regular size adrenaline bug, and I think the menace grubs are reasonably durable. Like I don't burn through them too bad. Anybody guess what hard baits triggered me to finally make an order?
DT8.
There's two of them actually. DT8's one of them. What's the other one? And the OG Tinies. Rich and the
OG Tinies. Guess what I got? I got some OG Tinies right here. I just picked up at Academy.
So there's the DT8 in Caribbean shad. This is like I've been a parrot guy forever. Like the old school parrot DT6s catch a ton of fish where I live.
Yes.
No depths evokes punch fishing. So yeah, this is. I mean, and for those that aren't aware, the DT8 is basically a DT6 body with an 8-foot bill on it.
Cool.
So
I want to see what colors. I want to see what colors you got on your tinies, so I can compare it with the ones I've got.
And then I got the mule, which is kind of a brown crawdad.
Yep.
Thinking eyeing this up for vermilion this summer. And then we got some green gizzard shad because Ott Defoe said like that's his like number one color.
Got to get it then if that's what Ott's saying.
I use DT8s. I'll probably start with my 704 Champion XP crank rod, but I think also my Caden 735 crankbait rod. One of those two will be what I'll throw my DT8s on. So there's another Caribbean shad. I think I doubled up on a few of these. Ooh, and then I got the big shad. Somebody just said they didn't have the big shad. Oh, sorry, not sorry. I bought some. That's a good looking color though. That actually looks better in person than it does on the website.
I've got a big shad here in the tiny. Did you get any in the tiny?
I don't know. I don't remember. So there's not a gizzard shad. So I think I just got two of each of a handful of those things. All right. So OG tinies. We got the mossy chartreuse crawdad.
Mm-hmm.
Got two of those.
I don't have that one.
There's my other big shad that I ordered for the DT8. So I got that, and then I got that's the other mule, and then I got the classic crawdad.
Okay, let's see. Nope. Oh yeah, I got a classic crawdad right here. I want
to see the 8s compared to the OG tinies to give you perspective. I don't have any of my other Raplas around to give you like a comparison. They're not. Stuff. I think I just got two colors of the OGs. I didn't think they might have to keep an eye on them in case they get some others in. But there's the cross. I just got two colors of the OG. Like either other people sniped me when I wasn't watching, and they're literally going out as fast as they were stocking them up.
So I got several of those. I can show them real quick before you go to your other stuff.
Sure.
I got the red craw.
Yep. Which is similar to the custom or the classic craw. They're not that different.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Very subtle differences.
A
little bit more lighter orange on the belly.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit darker back on this one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really just the color of the belly.
Yeah.
So
all right. And then I've got
your fish are that picky where they won't bite one of those or the other, then you got some special fish.
This one's chartreuse root beer craw.
Which is similar to honestly, right? That's
your spring craw.
Mossy chartreuse crawdad, right? A little bit more of a brown back versus a black back or a green back.
Yeah, green back, yeah.
Otherwise, the bottom and sides are really similar.
Very.
Again, I think they had both of these, and I just went with this one.
Yeah. And then I got the big shad.
Purple, which I got back. Big shad in the DT8s, but I didn't get them in the tiny.
And then I got the live river shad. That's a nice. That's a nice one.
Yeah, I think they had that one. For whatever reason, I just wasn't moved by that one.
It's got white underneath, and I mean it's pretty realistic looking. And then I've got Helsinki shad, which is an old school Rapala color. You know, everybody, you can get this in just about any.
It's basically sexy shad.
Yep. And then I got the hot copper green shad.
Okay.
Little lemony on the bottom and green and brown. And then the last one I have is the citrus shad, which is another go-to kind of color. Mm-hmm. You can get a ton of different Rapalas in this color. So the tiny's definitely something to try.
The only thing they have left in the OG is the perch color.
Okay. Well, heck, perch is good for a lot of places.
It's basically a fire tiger, let's be honest. BT8s, let's see if they have what they have left. I bought mine, and then I put on my Instagram story, and then they have 1 blue black herring left, 4 mules left, and 3 perch left in DT8. Otherwise, they're all gone.
Gotta be quick on the trigger.
So that's HELLABASS's pro advice. When you're shopping for hot baits, make sure you order yours before you tell your friends.
Exactly. Yeah, man after my own heart. You make sure you get your stuff first.
I picked up a Jackal Rerange.
Oh yeah,
110. Yep. These are sweet baits. They're hard to get. They're not, and this is their matte pearl white.
Yeah, I've got some of those in more green pumpkin type colors, but I don't have any in the white. Any kind of shad looking colors.
The fun thing about these is you throw them, and every time you cast, you think you snapped your rod. It goes crack. The weight transfer system is so pronounced in these that they just. And so I just grabbed this because they had kind of their premium sale and they were in stock, and I figured it was a good time to grab one. And then we got another pack of the green pumpkin blue adrenaline bugs, craws, nice. Whatever, juniors. Mm-hmm. And then I grabbed a couple packs of the new Missile Baits mini D chunks. So I got.
Oh man, I want to try some of those. I really
green pumpkin and super bug.
Take one out. Take one out of the pack. Let's look at it up close.
I don't want to take it out. You take it out.
Oh, come on, man.
I first saw these on Debo's channel, and like
they are really, really. I mean, you think how can you change a chunk to make it unique and different? And they've done it.
Yeah, like so. There it is. It's got kind of the chunk. They've married the chunk body with kind of the almost the menace scrub tail. So super bug is kind of black and blue on one side, green pumpkin on the other. I guess why did I put my menace scrub away? Because that would have been a good comparison to show you against the menace scrub, right?
Yeah, really nice.
Just to give you size comparison, but I see this same thing. Like I bought these because they honestly were a little smaller, but a lot of times you get a couple bites and you end up biting your menace scrub down, and then you are right there at the size, right? Like
it's awesome. I think I'm going to be able to use that in a lot of different ways.
I'm curious how this will hold up in more of a chunk as far as when you're threading it up on your barbs and things like that. Will it hold up better than a menace scrub or a speed craw and give you similar action?
Yeah,
so
yeah. It'd be interesting to see for sure.
So yeah, I just got. I thought I ordered 2 packs of the $10.99, but I guess I only ordered 1. They're not super cheap, right? You only get 5 in a pack.
Hey, speaking of missile baits, guys, you guys that watched my missile baits fishing kits video,
first you get 8 menace scrubs in a pack.
Yeah. Old John Cruz responded. He commented on the video today. And I felt kind of bad because we ended up kind of bad-mouthing the product a little bit there. You
didn't bad-mouth the product. You just didn't think the kits were worth the value.
Yeah,
right?
the
value. There was nothing like negative. I mean, you had a few critiques, right? You're like, I would like more hooks, or I'd like more this, but it wasn't ever questioning the quality, right? It was
Right.
like, am I really getting the value?
Yeah, I love his baits, and I was like, dang, I hope I didn't send a wrong message there because I did. I love their stuff, and I'm it's like those chunks. I got to go buy some of those because they're just awesome.
I think they still
I'm
got a
up to
decent amount of those
158,
at Omnia.
158 viewers. What are you up to?
What does it say? 102, 106, 104, somewhere in there.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and I don't know. Is Burley streaming tonight? He usually streams on.
Yeah, they stream on Thursday night, don't they?
Is anybody watching both? Give us a report.
Yeah, anybody watching both?
Yeah. Who's winning? Not that it's a competition, but who's winning?
Yeah.
Mini D chunks. They still got there's a few. Yeah, they got people bought a bunch of those. There's Bruiser Flash and Bammer Craw. The only thing they got in stock in the mini D's at Omnia right now.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it might be a little late for Burley. They're East Coasters or Eastern time zone, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one more thing in the box.
Let's see.
So one cool thing about Omnia is they have their bargain bin, which their bargain bin is really typically more of an overstock bin. It's like, especially with last year where there was all that like supply chain issues, and they'll like order 2 or 3 times, and then they might get like one color in, and they'll get 3 orders of one color in. And because they're like in a growth mode and they're trying to add new SKUs, they have to clear out. Like they may have like 2 cases of one color of something, and they're like, well, we'll liquidate at 25% off until we get down to where that fits in one spot, right? So they had these cross-eyed chatterbaits in smoked it color, which is basically like a black, brown, green pumpkin. Just a good solid color, right? Like nothing wrong with that bug.
Those cross-eyed chatterbaits are nice.
Yeah, so they were marked down 25% off, and then I could use the premium sale code on top of it. I think I paid like...
Wow, that's great.
I forget. They were marked down... Where are they here? I don't even see them on them. Why don't I see them on the lists?
Got them free.
Yeah. Reading is hard. Oh, the cross
Reading is hard.
They were marked down to $6.99, and then they were 20% off that.
Okay.
I think they're regular $9.99 or $8.99.
Yeah, I think they're $8.99.
So I got them for whatever 20% off $6.99 is.
Yeah, so that's another.
So there was just that one color though. So this was the only color that was in the bargain bin.
It's a nice natural color though. You can definitely use that. Yeah, I like that cross eyes. It's weedless. It does really well around timber and stuff. And let's face it, chatterbait's terrible around timber. So.
Yeah, so that was that's what broke the seal.
Awesome. That was cool. Go check out Omnia Fishing, boys and girls. They got some deals.
And if you want, you can use code HBJAN15.
HB for HELLABASS?
Yep.
January 15.
Yeah, 15. But not fully spelled. I can type it in, and then if you just want to show it on the screen there.
Okay. All right.
But that'll save you 50. And if you're a premium member, they're running a sale right now for 20% off. But if you're not a premium member, then you can use this code anytime.
All right.
The premium. Are you a member? Have you got the member? Are you a member at Carl's?
Yeah, I'm a member of Carl's.
Yeah.
But I'm not opposed to joining. I just haven't had a need to just buy a crap ton of stuff there yet.
Well, but when you get 12 boxes a month, you don't need to buy a lot of individual.
Yeah. As many as my YouTube buddies are on Omnia now, though, I probably need to start getting more into it. I definitely have bought stuff from them, though. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
about
I mean
it.
the big right. So it's like $30 a year if you pay full price for the membership. Every once in a while they run a deal on it where it's like $10 off, but you basically get free shipping on anything, even if you just buy literally one spool line or one pack of worms, free shipping. which is, you know, a lot of times, you know, I'm sure, have you ever been guilty of ordering something like needing like 2 things from Tackle Warehouse and then spending 50 to get free shipping?
Yeah, of course.
Anybody? No.
I do that all the time, man. That's
but and then the other thing is you get 10% back on points, which I think is similar to the Carl's, right? You get a rebate on points or something like that. So
yes,
you get 10% back in credit, which just feeds the addiction, because then you always have that 10% credit out there, like a bait monkey on your shoulder telling you to buy more stuff.
Yeah.
And then they occasionally run sales like this or special deals for members only. But
are they? I wonder if they or anybody else has tried, going to try the tackle insurance like Carl's is doing. Have you heard of that crazy thing? They will give you, I think it's 4 lures per year that you lose fishing for any reason. You can go and put in they're calling it an insurance claim, tackle insurance, and that's part of your membership, 4 free replacements per year.
So if you lose your Guggen clickbait, you can get a new one.
That's right. That's right. Or any other Guggen bait, man.
they don't carry a lot of like side slimmer 250s or anything, that right? Like, is there what do you think the most expensive bait is on Shop Carl's? Like,
I don't know. They do have some pretty. Let's see. I got them pulled up right here.
Jackhammers. They probably got jackhammers, right?
Oh, they do. I wonder about if they've got some swim bait. They got hard swim baits here. Let's see what those are.
I mean, probably the Guggen swim bait's probably up there, right? That's like 15.
Yeah, but they've got the slow sinking bull shad, which is $49.99 or $44.99 if you're a Carl's Club member. So I don't know if they would. I don't know if that falls in the parameters of the tackle insurance deal.
Yeah, is there any, like, you have to have a claim, a proof? Like, does it just basically turn into a BOGO on 4 lures a year?
It probably does. I mean, I've never tried it, obviously, but I think you got an account with them. They know if you bought a Guggen clickbait, and if you did and you lost it,
or you just want another one and said you lost it.
Yeah, you could. I mean, yeah, I think
honestly, right? I mean, let's just be honest, right? It turns into you pick the 4 lures a year that you want a BOGO on, right? Like,
yeah. Well, they probably got a dollar limit on each lure. Like, they're probably not going to give you a free bull gill, which is $52.19 for Carl's member, $57.99 for a non-member.
It says it's Backlasher said it's for 20 or less.
Okay, 20 or less. So
jackhammers are really like the sweet spot for this program.
That's right.
So if you're going to buy 4 jackhammers, it might be worth it, right?
Or a River to CS waiver, $16, or the Spool Tech Fatty swim bait, that's a $22 lure. But if you're a Carl's Club member, it's only $17.60, so you can get that replaced. So not too bad. It's interesting. You would think that if it's successful, other people are going to copy that at some point along the way. So what else you want to talk about? Let's see. I'm trying to see if I got anything on my deal here.
You have to do it within 90 days of purchase, Backlasher says.
Oh, so you've only got 90 days to lose your lure. Okay.
Or to cash in on your BOGO.
Right. However you want to do it there. Lost my mini clutch from my advent calendar 2 days ago. Oh man, that advent calendar. Well,
I watched that. That was something else.
Yeah. Hey, let's face it. Every company out there has some winners and losers, and we'll just leave it at that.
So here's a question. I tune in every now and then, but I definitely don't get to see everything you do. What is the best? So how about this? For somebody that's been in the game a while, that's been fishing for 10 plus years, that's got a decent arsenal, what do you think is the best box for kind of the journeyman to seasoned angler?
That's such a tough deal, because if you're really a seasoned journeyman sort of angler,
I mean, it's normally not a good fit, but I'm just saying, like, what do you think is like?
Yeah, well, that bento box is probably it.
Yeah, well, that's $100 box though.
It's $100 box. But if you get down to this, $40 level, they're all very close, evenly matched. And so I think what you got to kind of look at is, uh, do you want more name brand type baits, or do you want more, like for example, take Monster Bass. With Monster Bass, you're always going to get some Monster Bass brand lures. If you're okay with that, then great. That's fine. But if you don't want that and you want like only name brand company lures, well, Florida Tackle Club, Bass Baits Monthly, those types are the ones that really focus on that. Mystery Tackle Box, if you like their product line, the 10,000 fish, the Googans, I keep thinking plasma tail, but the Biospawn, if you like those products, then theirs makes a lot of sense, because they take those products and they throw in a bunch of other name brands on top of it.
We've made it Sean Lines here, so we're officially in the Cool Kids Club of streams right now.
Sweet. That is great to hear.
I guess the way I put it is like, if let's say if somebody was going to gift you a 3-month subscription, and you basically or somebody was like, hey, I got this guy that's pretty serious about fishing, I want to buy him a 3-month box or 3 months of the box, what would you recommend? Because I think if somebody was just going to do 3 months, I think the 6 cents would be pretty good, right? But over a year's time, the 6 cents gets very repetitive. But in short stints, it's a pretty good value.
It is a great deal for a 3-month window. Even a 6-month window, it's probably fine. The only reason I use it's really more clickbait, the Super 6 suck sack. Oh, it really only has to do with the fact that it's just repetitive. If you get it for a couple of years, like I've got, it's just like, holy crap, I do not need another Quake 70 to save my life, Yeah. And they leave a lot of really good new
takeover boxes for Monster Bass were pretty good. Like the Strike King takeovers, and some of those are pretty decent.
Well, they are, but they haven't had a really good takeover box. It's probably been a year since they had a really good one. So that's, they're not bad. They just did a Lunker Hunt takeover box. If you like Lunker Hunt, then, that's fine. I'm not a huge Lunker Hunt fan, so that didn't do a lot for me. But there's a lot to choose from out there. What I'd say more than anything is you just got to make sure you avoid the junk, and they're out there.
Lucky tech.
Yeah, exactly. That one really sucks among others. But I've really been trying to push these custom-made guys. They're focusing on small, but man, they've been disappointing. Now the Hendrix has been the best one of those that I've tried, and I just got the Hendrix box yesterday. I haven't looked at it yet, but the Dark Horse has really kind of disappointed me lately. This last month was I don't know if you saw that one. It was terrible. They're supposed to be custom made products, and they only had 2 custom made products in the box. Everything else was not custom made.
See, I think it's like you can come up with they come out with their ideas, right? And they start out with really good intentions. And then when they start to look at margins and they do it over and over and over again, it's hard to keep it up.
I think it's very hard. And these people that you're buying product from have got to make some money.
The thing is, most of these are based upon buying at the low cost, and lure manufacturers are eating it as a marketing budget, right?
That's right.
I actually I'm co-founder, part owner in Bass Tech, so I talked to Lucky or Mystery or somebody way back in the day, and what they wanted to pay for my jigs was below my cost, and then basically you're supposed to write that off as basically marketing budget, and to some degree, right? You're like, hey, we're going to get out 1,000 boxes, so you're going to get, sure, you're going to, you have to use that as a marketing, and to some degree, I think it makes sense. But how sustainable is that? How many times can every tackle company do that, and how long is that sustainable? How many times are you going to hit up the same people for that same thing? I don't know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Do you think we've hit the saturation point, or do you think there's more subscriptions coming?
I don't know, man. The thing that makes the bento box so amazingly cool is it's original. But the problem I think they're going to run in with the bento box is how many mega bass jerk baits can you put in the box before people start saying, I got a whole slew of these things, even if they are custom colors. Maybe if a person's got enough money to drop $100 every single month on it, that
Punch fishing. Punch.
they'll find that okay. But I think the big problem with any of these boxes is you got to have enough variety to keep your people interested, and that's where I think the Super Six Sack's screwing up right now. Is they got to get back on the.
So when is the new like? When is the next Super Six Sack? Where it's like, when do we think the new? Where are they going to win you back? When is that next bag coming?
Well, I don't know, because they said coming in 2022, new amazing crazy things, and this first sack this month was nothing. It was the same old sack. So I don't know. I keep thinking it's got to be coming soon. They're saying it's amazing new things coming, and I'm hopeful that it is. But geez, I don't know.
I kind of feel like we're to the point where we don't really need any more. We need the people, the subscription boxes that are executing at the best level to win out, and some of the others to disappear. And then,
yeah, well, I think the way this stuff got started with Lucky or NTB or whoever was the one that actually started this whole deal. Is the idea was it's a gift. You're buying a monthly gift for a buddy or a neighbor or a relative or something, where they get surprise baits once a month.
Like the fruit of the month. I mean, it's like the fruit of the month club, right, or whatever.
Yeah, the fruit of the month club, and then it kind of morphed into this thing where, hey, if you're a fisherman, you can get your own mystery tackle box every month, and that's kind of the way it's morphed. But people who really get these a lot, you kind of, man, I've seen it all. You're going to surprise me. The Major League Fishing box is pretty good. I mean, they're trying to do a few things different because they include the pro video in there that you can click on and watch, and you can get a poster of one of these pros if that's something you're into. Yeah, pretty amazing. But it's still not that unique, that they've done a pretty good job of providing pretty quality stuff, though. So it seems like they all start cheaping out at some point, though, and then that's when you're like, oh, jeez.
Chris says he just loaded up his Omnia cart and he's practicing his apology, because I don't know if you my IG story today where I was like, I'm weak, I caved, I'm broken. He's like, that's what I'm going to use to tell my wife. You can the Mr. Bass monthly box, but you got the spin to win, right?
Heck yeah. I do have a box that I've created that's more just for fun for the show. It's not something I'm trying to sell. It's just like liquidating the Mr. Bass inventory.
And I don't want to completely bash on subscription boxes by any means. I think there is a good play. I mean, like new anglers, it's really good values. There's some good products out there catered to the, newer anglers that can put a lot of cool baits in your hand.
Right.
And and if you're getting them as a gift, none of them are that bad, or most of them aren't that bad, honestly, if you're getting them as a gift. So yeah,
for sure. So I'd like to see a box where they
when you say I haven't ordered all year and you wait till January 3rd to use that, like I haven't ordered any tackle all year.
Yeah, that's an interesting concept Gramps is talking about, where you could choose from your favorite 6 baits out of 10. I think the fear from a seller's point is they're all going to take the chatterbaits, and they're all going to leave the whatever the crappie lure is, and then we're going to be stuck with 10,000 of the super crappie lure that nobody wanted. Yeah, the super crappie mega Mr. Bass box, guaranteed to be full of the world's crappiest lures, but you get a ton of them.
You should have like a mega giveaway where you literally you have all the off-brand outcasts from Lucky Tackle Box and Monster Bass, and it's a grand prize. Do you donate into that stuff? What do you get? What do you do with all that?
I put a lot of it in my buckets, and then do my spin to win. I give it away in the spin to win game, and I mix it up with some of higher quality lure. So sometimes you might get a 6 cents crankbait, and then sometimes you might get a Lucky Craft branded spinner bait. Just depends on whether the wheel's fortunate. The fortune falls on you when you spin the wheel or not. So doing that on Saturday nights. So
Sean's watching on your channel. Looks like.
Oh yeah,
look at
that. He is.
Trader Sean.
HELLABASS or something that's called Smallmouth Crush Auctions.
Yeah, that's true. I forgot about that. Yeah, sorry for stealing Travis's ideas. I shouldn't do that.
He sells his monster bass junk. Yeah, well, hey, everybody's got some. It's
fine. You can watch wherever you want, but you can't use the custom emojis when you're over there, Sean.
That's right. Yeah, you're losing out because I don't even have membership on my channel. YouTube keeps telling me to do it. They keep saying you need to do it. Now's the time, but I haven't pulled the trigger just because I'm like, man, if I do it, I gotta give quality content or quality something to my subs and to my members. And until I'm positive I'll do that every month, I'm not going to do it. But at some point, I probably will.
It's something that I definitely thought about for a long time before I did it, but it's working out well. I think people are enjoying it. We're doing some after hours stuff, and the only thing I don't like is I see it does the same thing on Restream as it does on StreamYard. It just I have my custom emojis. It shows up on YouTube, but if you try to put Daniel's comment up, it just
oh, you can't see it then.
I can't see the emoji. It just does the text of it. But if you look on YouTube, you can see the custom emoji. But
yeah, that does kind of suck. Now, see, that's something that these programs need to figure out because that's the wave of the future right there.
Yeah. But yeah, we're doing after hour streams. We do some, try to build that custom tool for Drain the Lake. And when I do some of my seminars for high schools, I record those and then I put those on in the members only section, and just try to get creative and deliver things that are make it fun and be part of the community. So
that's awesome. Sounds cool.
Last movie either of you watched? I watched the last time I flew to. Last couple of flights, I watched actually a bunch of movies. I watched what was it so I watched 10 Rings. Is that what it's called? Something of the Rings. The Chiang Mai. I think it's Legend of the 10 Rings. Maybe it's not 10, but it's definitely something Legend of the Rings. And then I also watched Black Widow. I always watch Marvel movies when I'm on planes.
Oh yeah.
And then I also watched Ryan Reynolds. He was in a video game where he was the new guy or the last guy or the something. It was entertaining. It was what's the game where you run around and beat up people and smash cop cars, and it was a play on that. I don't know. Grand Theft Auto, but it was
oh yeah, Grand Theft Auto, yeah.
It was a play on that. Free Guy. Yep, they're saying it. Free Guy.
I guess I need to watch some movies, man. I haven't watched.
Honestly, I watched you. I watched this when I'm not if I'm not editing my own videos.
Yeah.
And things like that.
I do that too. I spend a ton of time on YouTube if I'm not.
I hang out in lives. I watch Todd Castledine, Brad Hallman. You see me on your lives. You see me on Bass Talk Live. You see me on all over the place. Bateman when he does. I honestly don't watch much TV. I watch a little bit of sports. And a lot of times I watch YouTube about bass fishing. I watch YouTube about YouTube.
Yeah.
I watch and some investing stuff and food stuff. But yeah, it's mainly YouTube. And a little bit of Netflix. But Ozark's coming out. Me binge watching that.
Ozarks.
Yeah.
I watch a ton of football. That's about it. Sorry, Punch Fishing. I can't give you the name of a movie I've seen recently, but I wanted to go see the next Matrix movie, and then I saw so many terrible reviews on it I was like, I'm not going to go do it. It sounds like they screwed it up.
Best thing you grilled in the last month? I smoked a couple turkeys around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Those turned out good. Otherwise, burgers and steaks. So probably the most interesting thing was the smoked turkeys.
Oh yeah. Well, I can't help you there either, man.
I got a big green egg and a Weber smoke fire pellet grill, both.
Nice. What I do is I go to the steakhouse and I get it there. We got some amazing barbecue here in this town. I mean, world class barbecue like you wouldn't believe. So I go there quite a bit. If you're ever in the Kansas City area, you need to shoot me a text message or shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'll hook you up to some amazing barbecue.
Actually, just thought my daughter has a soccer tournament in April.
Oh, sweet. Okay, we can make it happen, dude. You've got to.
So do we collab on barbecue, or do we try to sneak out in your boat?
We could do both, man. Heck yeah. We could take barbecue out on the boat, man. That would be a blast.
I might have to plan ahead and see if there's some extra time.
Heck yeah. We can make it happen. All right. Well, what do you think? It's 10 o'clock, dude. We've been on 2 hours.
Yeah, we were good viewership tonight. Good fun stream, lively chat. It was awesome for an impromptu. We'll do this again sometime.
Heck yeah.
Definitely. This is my makeup stream for no stream next week because I will be in Mexico.
Yeah, we'll have a good time down there and with your pina coladas and getting out on the beach. That should be fun. Are you going to Cancun or some other place?
Just south of there, Riviera Maya.
Okay, cool.
A lot of pool time, a lot of non-kid time. So,
oh man, I'd like to. My wife and I went on a cruise right before COVID, and that was a blast. I would love to do that again.
There you go. Yeah. Gramps is on Friday and Monday. I'm sure Mr. Bass will have a few streams next week. So
yeah, I got streams coming.
You guys, they'll keep you in good hands next week. That's where you'll get your fix. You get your dopamine on the YouTubes.
Right on. All right. Thanks, everybody. Smash that like button before you go and share the video. If you came in late,
catch one of the replays on one of our channels. And
right on.
I guess, as always, HELLABASS here to help you guys catch more big bass and suck less.
Right on. Adios, people. Bye-bye.